It ain't necessarily so. It ain't necessarily so. The things that you're liable to read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily so.
Today I want to cover the subject of a world without God, and there's a couple different angles at which you can come at this subject. A couple that I ponder myself. Maybe there's a couple more that others might consider, those who are perhaps more intellectually and philosophically inclined than myself. But the main two that I always consider are the moral aspect of a world without God and the existential aspect of a world without God. I'm going to start with the moral. And it's common for people to say that, in a world without God, if you don't believe in God, or if there is no God in your life, then everything's permitted. There's no limits to the wrongs that you can commit, that you have a license to do whatever the hell you want to do. And I say no. I mean, you still suffer consequences just like anyone else. The consequences of very real cause and effect, legal consequences, retribution from other people. These are consequences that are real, and both believer and non-believer alike have to suffer these. So no, not everything is permitted. Religions have been around since, mankind has first sought to fill the void of answering questions that has plagued him since his creation, since his beginning, since his evolution, whatever it is that you decide to believe is there. And the fact of the matter is that no religion, Christian, Islamic, Buddhist, Judaic, whatever, has been able to enforce its ethical codes, its commandments upon the world. Not completely and utterly. Evil has existed and prevailed throughout the centuries. That's just the way it is, man. With or without God, existence can be harsh and people can be mean and cruel. So no, everything is not permitted simply because one does not believe in God. Everything's fucking permitted. If somebody wants to commit evil, they're going to do it. With or without God. Now, just because somebody believes in God doesn't necessarily say that they're not going to commit wrongs. We know that there's ample number of devout followers of every faith that are making mistakes, which we all do, but also using their religion or their faith to obfuscate their wrongdoings. So, from a moral perspective, there's nothing either good or bad in the world until we actually start to think about the implications of those actions or those things. It's our mind that conceives these moral issues. That's not to say I don't have my own codes, my own ethics, but it's my thoughts that make them right or wrong. It's what I decide to say is right or wrong. Not God, not some pastor, certainly not my mother. I mean, she advises me well, but it's me in the end. That has to be my voice of reason. That has to be my conscience. That has to deal with the consequences. Now, from an existential point, it's true that mankind has a burning desire to answer questions of why we're here, what's the meaning to it all, where do we go when we die? We all, at some point or throughout our lives, feel that burning desire. It's how we're hardwired. It's part of the human condition. It's what makes us conscious and makes humanity humanity. It doesn't mean that because we don't know the answers that we just accept something in the meantime without validity, without regard to its facts. We say, oh well, we gotta have faith in it. No, you really don't. Things don't become meaningless because you don't just say, okay, well, let me just go ahead and accept this because it sort of fills that void. It's a false filling. It's like putting air in your cannoli. Or I'll use another food analogy. I got a favorite food. Let's say it isn't my favorite food, but let's just say a hot dog. Well, I got certain condiments that I like to eat with that hot dog. Just because I don't have those condiments doesn't mean I don't eat that hot dog. Fuck, if I don't have the hot dog but I just have the bun. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat the bun. Life is the bun. That burning desire could be the hot dog or the condiment, whatever fills the bun. You're not going to starve. You're not going to give up eating because you don't have the filling, because you don't have what to put inside the bun. You just carry on with life. You deal with it. You don't just close your eyes and imagine you're eating a hot dog. No, you eat the fucking bun and you enjoy it. You learn to savor that bun. You learn to get by without it. Existential writers have often said that what makes the value of a man or woman is their ability to find meaning in a world without God. To sort of tackle an absurd existence and create meaning in their lives. To sort of seek out and stake definition on their own without just taking someone else's word for it. Just some thoughts.